we back with another video. Everybody loves when I post, tier videos and all that good stuff. So we're gonna do a lot more videos focused on, class tuning and um, tiers and whatever. Less of gameplay, but like once obviously the new expansion starts, we'll go in between. But I think everyone likes, when I do this and check this out. So we're looking at nerfs. Now I'm pretty sure for, unless it says specifically PvE, then it also counts for the overall class. So like, let's say they get a buff, let's see what happens. So Death Knight, um, no, no magic reduces magical damage taken by 8% was 10%. So this got nerfed. So actually, magic. Wait. No magic reduces magic damage. Okay, yeah, so this is a 2% nerf. That's not going to do too much, I don't think, but it is a nerf. Infeasible reduces damage dealt to you by 12% was 15%, so 3% damage nerf on Infeasible. Death Knight can only heal. Wait, Death Strike can only heal the Death Knight for a percentage of damage taken from a given damage event once. Death Strike that heal the Death Strikes that heal the minimum health amount do not count as using damage event. Okay, that just sounds dumb. Okay. I don't know if that's a nerf or if that's just like a new way of healing. Deathbringer Blood Frost. Reaper's Mark is now 45 seconds. Cooldown was 60. I don't really know what Reaper's Mark actually is. So it is still a buff, whatever it is. So it was 60 seconds, now it's 45. Which might be good for Frost, because Frost, I've seen a lot of Frost. I've seen Mez playing Frost. So this could be a really crucial Frost ability. Swift End now reduces the cooldown of Reaper's Mark. So this also reduced the cooldown of the Reaper's Mark. Was 30 seconds. So just Reaper's Mark really is what it is. Okay, Frost, Reaper's Mark now scales with Mastery, Frozen Heart. Okay, so this must be a big buff then if it's stacking with Mastery. And I guess it couldn't before. Wave of Souls now scale, so yeah, they're gonna get some big mastery. So now instead of them having huge mastery and it not scaling with it, now it's gonna scale on top of it. So it's gonna be big damn. Exterminate now scales with mastery. So these are all just Frozen Heart mastery buffs pretty much. Rider Apocalypse Frost Unholy damage of all riders reduced by 15%. What does that mean? What is a rider? Is that like their pets? Is that what that is? A rider is basically the unholy pets, I guess. So that's still a nerf. I don't know if anybody uses that. Hungering thirst, disease, damage, death coil, frost strike, damage reduced to 10% was 15. So that is a nerf. That is a 5% nerf. Okay, that's good. A Feast of Souls now increases damage of runic power spenders by 20% was 30%, so a 10% nerf on that. Trollbane's Ice Fury damage reduced by 10%. Undeath damage reduced by 10%. So DK got an actual nerf. I'm surprised, to be honest. I know DK was good, but I didn't think it was that good. I mean, actually, it depends, really. I mean, DKs were really popular. I don't really care about Blood DK. That's a lot. Um, Wait a minute. Okay. Okay, so that was DK overall, I think. So, okay, Frost. Glacial reduced by 15%. Wow. Icy Death Torrent. Wait, so Frost DK got nerfed? Frost DK wasn't even that good. Okay. Glacial Advance, damage reduced by 15%. Icy Death Torrent, damage reduced by 15%. Enduring Strength now grants 15% was 20%, 5% nerf. Shattering Blade now causes the next Frost Strike when consuming 5 Razor Rise stacks to be increased by 115% was 1. So that is a 10% nerf. Okay, so Frost got nerfed. Unholy. Ebon Fever now increases damage disease deal by 12% was 15%, so that's a 3% nerf. Bursting Sores now increases the festering wound damage. Okay, so it's got a 4% nerf. Bursting Sores damage reduced by 8%, that's a nice nerf. Super Stain now applies Blood Plague and Frost Fever at 75%, so that's a 5%. Okay, so DK overall got nerfed. Demon Hunter. Live by the glaive now restores 2%. Okay, this is like, and this is what I mean. Hopefully during the PvP they actually fix this. This is one of the worst things I've ever seen. This is one of the most broken classes in the entire game. Not only that, but it's the easiest, and it gets literally this. There's no way. Havoc, Havoc, whatever. Okay, there's really nothing with that. Druid. Oh yeah, this is big buffs. Regrowth initial heal increased by 30%. Yeah, I've heard that druids are broken. So frenzy regen heals you for 20% of your maximum health was 32%. So frenzy regen got nerfed. Which honestly, I think frenzy regeneration was also not even good. It was pretty garbage. Like especially like if you were boomy, like it literally just didn't heal you. It literally heals you for like 5%. It was already awful. It's not even cooldown. Renewal heals 20% of maximum health was 30%. That's not gonna matter too much, I don't think. That was like a big cooldown to use whenever you were in trouble, though. Dream Bloom healing increased by 20%, so that got buffed. Power of Nature increased the healing and rejuvenation of fluorescence. And Life Boon by 10% was 5%, so this got a 5% buff. By the way, if I butcher any of this, it is 8:21 a.m. I haven't slept, so I'm going through this as fast as possible. Minor, um, Cinnamon, Ward, cast from durability of nature healing increased by 100%. I don't really know what that is. Uh, well, I'm gonna butcher this. Bontius, Bloom, Groove Guardian healing increased by 30%, once 20%, so that's a 10% buff. Groove Inspiration increases regrowth, wild growth, and Swiftman healing by 9%, was 6%. That's a 3% buff, okay. Potent and blah blah blah, last 3 seconds was 2 seconds, so whatever. Harmony of Growth increases your healing by 6%, was 3%. Active Growth Guardian, I'm not really, I mean, that's a 3% buff, so rest of Druid got a buff. Again, these are non-PvP. Like this is just the overall class. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. I don't know if it's. I don't know if they do just specifically PvP. But if I'm doing this wrong and this isn't the overall class, then I'm totally dumb. Like, because in my mind, when it says a class, like for example, this is all gonna be for the actual class, even for PvP. I could be wrong though. Maybe the PvP buffs or nerfs are literally just for that, and these are for like just strictly PvE. I'm not sure. Windwalker Feral Restoration, Bloom Minions. I hate reading it like this. I don't understand why. Oh, this is Wildstalker. I thought this was Windwalker. Well, that's a similar blooms prefer to target injured players or minions. Similar blooms grow 30% more often. That could be a good buff. Bomb with Nature now increases healing taken by 3%, was 10%. It's nerf. Harmonious Constitution now increases regrowth healing to yourself by 35% for restoration and 25% for feral. Was 50%. That's another nerf. Bursting regrowth, bursting growth healing increased by 100%. I don't even know what it's. I don't even know what that cooldown is. Implant causes similarity. Blah blah blah. Guardian. All right, here's the rest of it. Swiftman healing increased by 20%. Light Bloom healing over time increased by 20%. Light Bloom Light Bloom healing increased by 30%. Oh my god. Generation Ward healing increased by 20%. That is an insane amount of numbers. Whoever's doing the buffs in this needs to be immediately reported to the authorities. Buffing Rusted by this much is hideous. All you're gonna see is Rusted and Evokers. Evoker. Disintegrate damage increased by 10%. Fire Breath damage increased by 10%. Azure Strike increased by 10%. Deep Breath, oh my god. Verdi Embrace, yeah, this is, I don't know who's doing these, like, you're just ruining the game. So yeah, Evoker is going to be the best DPS in the entire game. Rusted is going to be the best healer in the entire game, so that's pretty straightforward. Thanks, Blizzard. Play your own game, please. Just for once, maybe like just log on. I'm hoping I'm wrong and this isn't the actual overall class, because if it is, the game's, I'm not, like, I'm just going to play Evoker. Evoker and Rusted is all I'll play. Or we'll see what's up. This is the overall class too. This is not just one spec. This is every class. This is, imagine healers. Healers are gonna be broken. That'll be nice. Okay, Og didn't get really touched. Devastation. Eternity Surge increased by 10%. 10% on his power. Okay, this doesn't really matter. Shattering Star, 10%. Unrivaled damage, 10%. Oh my god. Jesus. Bro, Dev was already an S tier spec. Why? Oh my god. Present Evoker. Spirit Bloom healing increased by 20%. Restoring will now extend its duration by 30% when it's refreshed. Emerald Blossom and Echo Cats will no longer consume Essence Burst when they are released from status. Life Bomb will now trigger its healing from heals that are considered procs. Field of Dream procs are no longer incorrectly benefit Kaz, so this is really the main buff here. And this one, these two, because this one's going to give you more of a hot over time. So yeah, that's a big buff. That's a massive buff to Evokers. Hunter, Symbolic Arsenal, 5 cap, target cap, Sentinel, blah blah. I didn't really know what this even is. I don't know what this is, so I'm just gonna say, I mean, whatever. Mage, Mass Barrier has a 3-minute, what's 2-minute? Okay, I guess. Nice. This is, of course, this is what they end up nerfing out of all this. So, like, this is, I hope under the PvP they actually do something useful. Embedded Arcane Splinter, damage, wait, what? Arcane Splinter, damage, wait, they're nerfing Arcane? Wait, huh? Arcane Barrage damage reduced by 60%? Arcane Barrage damage increased by wait. Arcane Barrage damage increased per arcane charge increased to 90%. So every charge you're getting a 90% buff, is that what I'm hearing? That could be insane. So that's 90% times 4, right? Am I correct? Or maybe I'm wrong. Arcane Barrage, so that means if you get 4, or that's gonna be 90 times 4 on that barrage. My math sucks, so somebody will have to elaborate for me. That is actually could be insane. That could be insane barrage damn. Then again, this just got nerfed by 60%, so I don't know. I think this kind of cancels this out a little bit. Okay. Arcane Missiles damage reduced. Dude, why nerf a class like this? It makes no sense. Arcane was like barely a B tier, like maybe a B tier spec. Maybe an A tier at like the best players in the world playing it. Clueless. Holy Jesus. Absolutely clueless. I have no idea what's going on in the game. I'm not even going to read. I don't really know this. Celestial Conduit damage reduced. I don't really know the conduit so far, so I'm not really going to, you guys can read it yourselves here. But, Brewmaster, I don't really care about Brewmaster. Mistweaver. Ancient now transfers 170, was 106, got buffed. Ancient Techniques. Tear of the Morning now causes 12% of developing mist to transfer to allies with renewing mist. Was 20%, and increases Vivify healing by 15%. Wait, huh? Now causes 12. Wait, so was 20% and now increases. So it didn't get nerfed, or what? I don't understand. Okay, so I think this got nerfed by 50. So this got healing by 50. Okay, so this got nerfed by 5%, and this got nerfed by 8%. I had to do the math real quick. My bad. I had to count my fingies. Vivify healing increased by 30%. Now that's where I'm seeing the Mistweavers. That would make sense. 30% is an immense buff on any class. Gust of Mist healing increased by 10%. Even a 5% buff is actually insane. But like anything over 10, the class is gonna be broken. Oh, Windwalker, thank God. I hate this class. I can't wait for it to be nerfed. Even though I think Windwalker is terrible and it has always been terrible. Again, Windwalker needs the pressure to kill something in between its 6-second crit window. And if it doesn't, the class sucks. So this is making Windwalker unplayable. So Black Eye damage reduced, Tiger Palm reduced, Rising reduced, Fist of Fury reduced. Literally just every button down the whole. That's crazy. Nice nerfing. You nerf Arcane and you nerf Windwalker. Clueless. And again, this is what happens when you're the company that you pay $15 a month for. They don't actually, they have these people that are 60 years old that no longer play the game and have no idea what's going on in the game. And they base it off of PvE. Like, Jesus. Paladin. Flash of Light and crit. Finally, they get a buff. That's for overall Paladin too, I'm pretty sure. So this is finally. Wow. H-Power got a buff overall. Paladin got a buff. Wow. That's insane. I didn't expect them to get buffed, to be honest. Even though they're the worst healer by far, I've never played a healer as bad as H-Pal. I've This is the first time I've ever seen a buff that's been relevant, other than the one time it was broken for a week. Word of Gore healing, this should have been like 30%. This should have been like 40% probably. This is the one class that requires you to cast the heal, and then World of Glory should be like Kata. It shouldn't cost no mana. So to make H-Files have mana, instead of making World of Glory cost mana, it should be 0 mana and it should cost what's the Holy Power? Just like in Kata. I think that would be great. Or not even. As long as you get the power for it and you get, everything you need, the Holy Power, just make it cost no mana. It makes perfect sense to me. Just make it a 0 mana efficiency cost. That makes 100%. But it's Blizzard, so what do you expect? It's protection, Ret Paladin. Mortal Glory healing increased by 20%, so Rets are going to get a lot of healing here. That's only for Ret specifically. Flash of heal increase. Okay, this is for, so, wait. Okay, so okay, so this is for Palette. Okay, so this is technically for H-Pal. Or technically it's for all three specs. They didn't do a single H-Pal buff, I'm pretty sure. Wow. So they didn't do a. Okay, at least they buffed the overall class. We'll take that. So Priest, Flash Heal, healing increase. They needed this, to be honest. Power World Shield increase, absorb amount. Yep, okay, 100. So Disc is gonna be pretty good. Let's see if Holy gets buffed. And this is overall, so shields for every spec. Um, Life Healing, World. Okay, so I think these are good buffs. I think Priest kind of lacked in healing right now. Disc Rift damage reduced by 30%. Okay. Void. See, this is where, or, wait, I don't understand. Oh, wait, it's for like shadow and stuff. Alright, disc. All healing is now, wait, all healing is no longer reduced by 3%. Okay, that's not gonna do much, buddy. Okay, when they do stuff like this, it makes them look clueless. Instead of doing it -3, like reduced, they need to do +3 on top of the -3. So it's reduced by 3, which means it's counted as -3. And then they canceled that, so now it's back to 0 to a normal. Now they need to buff it by 3%. At least. That's how you do a buff change. This just looks stupid. Power World Radiance healing increased by 10%. Good. Penance healing, yep, 100% needed. Alright, these are great changes here. Holy. Holy needed a... The problem with Holy is not its healing, it's its overall cooldown usage. Its defensive suck. You have no cooldowns that stop the enemy from doing damage until they get PS, or they have literally unhealable healing and unhealable mana. The class will never be good. It'll only be good for setup comps. Heal increase by 20%, which is actually really good, because this is a really good mana efficiency cast, but it just lacked the healing overall. So this could be really good. Holy Word, Serenity healing increased by, this is really good too. Serenity getting buffed by 20%. Like these type of changes here with 20%, I don't think you guys realize how big a 20% buff can be. Divine Image, Healing Light spell, so yeah, these are good buffs. I mean, I still think it needs like PS or like an actual cooldown, but I mean the healing's fine too. Rogue. Wait, what? No rogue buffs or nerfs? That's crazy. Wow. Okay. Okay, I guess. I was not expecting that. Okay, maybe it's under the PvP. Shaman. Healing surge and healing increased by 20%. Much needed. I think it also needed a Riptide buff too. I think Rest of Shaman lacks in healing overall. Like you have the healing, but like the moment they start bursting, if you don't have like Earthen on your target already, they literally just flop. You're not able to heal the damage. So at least this is something. But healing surge costs so much mana, so like you can't really spam it. It's like a cast that you do it like once or twice every proc, and that's if you don't get capped or if you don't get kicked. Enhancement. Promoter wave is now 30 seconds. What's 45? This is a good buff for enhance. Doom Winds is now 60 seconds. What 90 seconds? Good buff. Casting Flame Shock, Frost Shock, and Sundering will now initiate combat with melee. Okay, that's fun. I don't know why I didn't already do that. Molten Assault range increased by 4 yards. Sure. Molten Assault now plays an impact visual. Okay, whatever. Crashing Lightning range increase. Okay, whatever. Crash Lightning dispel. Okay, so no really damage buff, which kind of they needed, to be honest. So enhancement's going to be that one. It's still going to be the same. This is what's needed here. Perfect buff. Riptide, 20%, beautiful. Unleash life healing increased by beautiful. It's these two right here. Healing Wave needed. This could be a main heal. Healing Wave was that cast. It's basically like heal on a Holy Priest. It uses very little mana, but it just lacked the overall healing. It was good to use if you had an uptime, like if your people were already high HP. But now it might be good to use like as an actual heal, because now it's gonna do 20% increased healing, which is really nice. And then you're having the surge buff too, so 20%. Yeah, really good buff for Shaman there. Let's see here. Affliction. Um, that sucks that they don't. And this is again, this is the one class that never gets touched. Warlock's the one class that has yet to be touched in 3 expansions, by the way. They need to nerf it. Affliction Warlock needs to be butchered. It needs to be nerfed by every single ability by 20% minimum, and then nerf their UI dispel down to minimum. Like it right now, if it were to be 100% right now, it needs to be down to 25%. Like dying to a dispel is the most delusional thing I've ever seen. Like I can get like an SP when you like get disoriented or you get like mini feared, but like getting 90% of your HP taken down with one dispel, delusional. Demo, what's 20%? Wait, so certain dual damage of Hand of Gul'dan by 60%, what's 20%? So this got buffed. Okay, so Demo got a small buff. Destruction, and this is where Destruction is gonna absolutely farm. Shadow Burn damage increased by 80%. That is delusional. So you're gonna see people just spamming shadow burns and literally doing like imagine a 400k or 500k bolt. They're gonna be doing that with an insta cast. 80% is insane. Incinerate damage 5%. Soul Rot fire damage 5%. They don't really use this button that much, so who cares? Channel Demon Fire. Okay, whatever. So it's mainly just Shadow Burn. Shadow Burn and Incinerate. Good thing there's no like Chaos Bolt damage. And Inferno damage. So Summon Infernal, Shadow Burn 80%, and Incinerate. Those three are going to be godly. Warrior, Pain and Gain now heals for 2% of your max health. What's 3? Okay, so Warrior Pain got nerfed. I think it was already completely garbage. Impending Victory, this should not have been nerfed, to be honest, in my opinion. Maybe I can see why it got nerfed, but I feel like they lack the ability to hit stuff, like especially casters. That's their main issue right now. They're just not able to like once you get on a target, they just blink away, they just run away from you, and then eventually once your charge are done, you're literally just sitting there like it's the most delusional thing in life. Protection don't care. Player versus player. Okay, now this is player. Druid. Rake's damage is no longer reduced by 23% in PvP combat. Is no longer reduced by 40%. Whoa. They're buffing. This is Druid as a class, so this is gonna add in for Feral Druid. That's gonna be insane. Oh my god. Rake's gonna do unhealable damage. So it was reduced by 23%. Now it's not getting reduced. So that's a 23% buff on Rake, and then it got reduced by 40% while you're in stealth. So now oh man, that's gonna be insane. So I think the Rake that you use in stealth is gonna be 40% increased damage. That is insane. Wow, that is, oh my god. Bro, 40%. So that means if you play Pharaoh Druid, go in stealth. It's basically like using Garrote for Rogue. You're basically going out with improved rakes. That's insane. So you might be going for restalls, honestly. Or you're gonna, like, when you burst, you want to be getting that restall for the stun, and that's gonna be unhealable rake damage. Shred damage from stealth is no longer, oh my god, Pharaoh's getting buffed. No way. Do they use Shred as? I don't even know if they use Shred as a feral. I'm so used to cat. Like I know they use it in cat. I haven't played ferals. The only time I played feral was Convoke in Shadowlands. That is insane though. So that's a 30% buff. Ferocious Bite. Oh my god, Ferocious Bite is getting a buff, so it's reducing it by 25. Oh my god. Dude, Feral is gonna be one. Dude, Feral was already broken. It was literally hitting 600k bites every burst go. If you play with Fire Mage, Pharaoh Druid is going to be god tier. Destro Warrior, Evoker Warrior is going to be god tier, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my lord. Bear form is no longer reduced by 20%. Okay, so yeah, they kind of need this. Feral kind of, or just Druid overall just dies insanely fast. So yeah, having armor would be nice. Rip damage is no longer, so Feral Druid got AM, and this is not just for Feral Druid. If a Wrestler Druid plays, like that, some Wrestler Druids play like a twos build that they have like a Feral form, it's gonna be insane for all that. But Feral Druid, especially, yeah, if you're trying to play Feral, this is the time to do it. You're going to want to play it immediately. It's going to be insane. Play Feral Druid Frost Mage or literally Jungle, you'll win every game instantaneously. MM Hunter with a Feral Druid, you can't lose. That is insane. Balanced Shooting Stars Astral Power Generation is no longer reduced by 50%, so this got a 50% buff. That's for Shooting Stars, so you might see some PvE builds with this. Umbral Embrace damage gain is no longer reduced. So it's a 40% buff on whatever that is. Starter damage. So this got a 20%. Okay, they needed this. Balance got a 20%. So it was. Wait. So yeah. What? Wait. Huh? Starter damage is no longer increased by. So wait. Star Surge got nerfed? Boomy was garbage. Dude, Boomy is trash. They nerfed Star Surge? Yeah, okay, so Boomy's garbage. Don't play it. Yeah, no, they just basically, so they no longer increase the damage by 20%. So that just got a 20, they got a 20% nerf on the one button that actually does damage. Okay, so Boomy's not playable. I mean, honestly, I'm not gonna be playing. I'll play Feral if I do my Druid at 2400. So who cares? Why would I play Boomy when I like a Feral? I'm just gonna like stun. I'm basically like when some rogue was one-shotting. That's what Feral's gonna be doing. So it's gonna, if you're looking to play like the new rogue, play Feral. And this is on top of this. So on top of all these buffs, rampant ferocity, damage is no longer reduced. Oh my god, Pharaoh is going to be, yeah, Pharaoh's best class in the entire game. Feral Frenzy, damage is no longer reduced. So 14% buff, Feral Frenzy. 25% buff, because it's basically, it was reduced. Or actually, no, I think it's, yeah, so basically it's going back to how it was. So it was nerfed by 25%. Now it's getting that 25% back. So it's 25% buff, 14% buff, Primal Wrath, damage is no reduced because this is 9% buff, so it's back to normal. Fix an issue where Rampage hero talent was reduced by 50, so this got 25% buff on its hero talent. Pharaoh Druid is going to be insane. Listen to me right now. Level your Pharaoh Druid instantaneously. Everybody, I want 99% of the population playing a Pharaoh Druid, not even kidding. If you're looking to get rank 1 or Gladiator or anything, play Pharaoh. It's going to be the most skillless class of all time. It's going to be Ret Paladin in Season 1 of Dragonflight, pretty much. You literally just click 1, 2, 3, bite, win the game. And then you'll have Rakes literally killing. It's basically an Affy lock as a Pharaoh Druid with one-shot dam. Nice. Restoration. Resto Druid healing is no longer increased by. Okay, so. Oh, in PvE only. Okay, so the one nerf that we're going to do, it was in PvE. Regross initial healing effect is no longer reduced by 11%, so this got 11% buff and is increased. So this got a big buff. Regrowth got a big buff. Or this is for the initial healing effect. So this is when you hit it, like the actual hit. Like, so let's say you click, it's kind of like Serenity whenever you actually cast the spell, not the overtime. Or, whatever. Mastery Harmony is now no longer, it says 15% buff on its Mastery, which is nice, Harmony. Life Bloom healing is no longer reduced, so 12% buff. So yeah, Rusted Druid, I can see. Druid in general is going to be insane. Arcane Mage, please tell me I got buffed in some way. It needs big buffs. New talent, Arcane Barrage reduces movement speed, because it doesn't really matter. They need damage. It's no longer decreased. I don't know where. If there, I don't know what the, like, damage increase to secondary targets is no longer decreased by 50%. So this is a 50% buff on whatever this is. Prodigious save effectiveness is no longer decreased. I don't know what these buttons are. I haven't played Arcane. I only leveled at it. Decreased by 20% in people. So this got buffed by 20%. Arcane Blast is no longer increased by 13% people. See, I don't know why they would nerf. Okay, so Arcane's not going to be nearly as good. Fire Mage. Oh, Fire Mage get buffs? Unleash Inferno, blah blah blah. Oh wait, Unleash Inferno damage bonus to Flame Shot is no longer reduced. So it's got a 100% buff. Unleash Inferno damage. I don't know what this is, but I feel like it's broken. Fire Blast damage is no longer reduced in 8, so 8% buff on Fire Blast. Flame Patch damage is no longer increased, so this got 11%. Wait. Yeah, so this got 11% nerfed. Pyroblast damage is no longer increased. See, why would you nerf this? Stop making Fire Mage into a PvE spec, you clueless idiots. This is where they should have buffed Pyroblast damage, nerfed all the other AoE. Fire Blast and Pyroblast is the only thing a Fire Mage should ever be clicking. And maybe Fireball for like their starter. Stop being clueless. I know you're clueless. Dragon's Breath damage is no longer increased. Bro, Dragon's Breath isn't supposed to, like, dude, oh my god, I'm so tired of these people. Flame Strike damage is no longer increased. Good. So they actually nerfed this. Thank God. The AoE build of Fire Mage should have never been a thing, and the fact that they did make it a thing, shame on them. Living Bomb damage is no longer increased. Good. Thank God. Stop changing solo targets into AoE specs. Clueless Blizzard. This is actually the longest thing I've ever done. Frost Mage. Glacial Assault damage increases is no longer reduced, so it's a 50% on Glacial Assault damage. That's insane. Ice Lance damage is now increased by 95% increase. What's their, oh my god, Ice Lance got an immense buff. Almost a 64% or something. Oh my god, that's gonna be insane. Splitting Ice now causes Ice Lance to strike a secondary target for 20% of his damage done. Was 80%. So it did get nerfed a little bit, but that's okay. Glacial Spike damage is no longer decreased. Oh my god, 11% buff on Glacial, finally. Ice Nova damage is no. Okay, nobody cares. Blizzard damage is no longer increased. Okay, Blizzard. Okay, Blizzard, I know you're clueless. Blizzard was not a CD you used to do damage. Blizzard is a cooldown you do to get procs. I know you're clueless though. That's a good. Flurry damage is no longer increased by 9%. Flurry wasn't a cooldown that you used for damage, bud. You used it to set up your glacial and your ice lances. I know you're clueless. It's okay. I don't know why they would nerf these. It's clueless. I know you're lazy and you don't know. You have to like make nerfs and act like you're doing something in life, but you're useless. This is what it is. Dispraise. Radiance healing is no longer increased by, I don't know why they would nerf this. This is dumb. So I don't really know how that's going to affect the actual overall, but we'll see. Warlock. Health funnel effect is no longer increased by 20% in PvP combat. Okay. Infirmity is no longer reduced by 50%. I don't know what this is, but I don't like any buffs on Affilock. This needs to be butchered. Siphon life damage is no longer increased by 20%. So this got nerfed. I don't know what this is. Fix an issue that caused Hunt to do no damage. Of course. So they just now fixed an issue. I don't know if it was just now, but Jesus. Demo. Pact of the Droom Bolt damage is no longer reduced, so this is a 60% buff on Pact Eredrone Droom Bolt damage. Nice. Demonic Strength is now reduced by 25%. PvP combat was 50%. That's a big buff on whatever that is. Dreadbite damage, so this is on probably their pets. Dreadbite damage is no longer increased by 10%, so they're nerfing their pets. Demon Bolt damage is no, okay. Is no longer increased. So they nerfed Demo. Okay, that's whatever. Demo is kind of just a control class in the first place, but okay. Destro. Oh my. Wait. Conflagrate damage is no longer reduced. Oh, so they're buffing Destro even more. Jesus. I told you Destro's going to be broken. I told you. I didn't think Feral was going to be that broken, but it's going to be up there. Feral Destro lock. Ooh. Feral Destro lock is going to be Feral Mage and Feral Destro lock. Or Feral Dev Evoker. What am I talking about? Feral Dev Evoker? That's juicy. Immolation damage is no longer reduced. 9% buff. Not 10% buff. 15% buff. Let's cancel that out. That's probably just Shadowburn damage is no longer increased, so 10% nerf on Shadowburn. Okay. Warrior. Thunderous Roar damage is no longer reduced, so 7% buff on Thunderous Roar. Shockwave damage is no longer increased. Okay, what? It's no longer. Wait. Bro. Oh my god, clueless. Okay, that's fine. This had no relevancy. Armed. Armor to the teeth is no longer increased by 45%, so they nerfed this. Okay, the War Within warrior class sets are now 50% effective. It was 0. Okay, so they buffed it, whatever. Arms Warrior. Arms Warrior damage is no longer decreased. 13% buff on overall Arms Warrior. Arms Warrior auto attack damage is no longer decreased. 15% damage buff on their auto attack. Arms Warrior is going to be insane. Fueled by Violence is no longer reduced to 17% buff. Deep Wounds damage, which is really needed, 13% buff. Well, technically, it's they're just redoing the chain. So instead of it being 30% nerf, it's going back to normal. So it's gonna be really good. So I'm just saying buffed as in the counter. Cleave damage is no longer reduced, so 9% buff of clean damage. Overpower is no longer increased by 10%. So this got 10% nerfed. I don't know how I feel about that. Execute damage is no longer increased. I don't know why you're nerfing. I don't know. Maybe it needed it. Maybe these other buffs will make it worth. Execute damage. Okay, the test of the might's effectiveness is no longer increased by or decreased by 50% in PvP combat. So 50% buff on that. Bloodletting's effectiveness is no longer decreased by 50%, so 50% buff. Dreadnought damage is no longer increased 30. Oh, Dreadnought got a big nerf, whatever that is. Okay, Fury Warrior. This really needed a nerf, to be honest. Bloodbath damage is no longer reduced. 20% buff on Bloodbath, by the way. Whirlwind cleave damage is no longer reduced by, so 9% buff on Whirlwind. Bloodthirst damage is no longer increased, so Bloodthirst got nerfed, okay. Annihilator damage is no longer increased by 15%, so 15% nerf on Annihilator damage. Dancing Blade's auto attack speed damage and damage increase is no longer decreased by 50%. So this is 50% buff on Dancing Blade's auto attack speed and damage. Raging Blow damage is now increased, or is no longer increased. So Fury got a mix of a nerf and a buff. You guys will have to let me know what you guys think about that. And the rewards fix an issue causing unbound, blah blah blah. And just to let you guys know, the glide mount that they added in for the next expansion for season 1, I'm telling you, it's one of the worst glide mounts I have ever seen of all time. So if I'll have it linked in, or I want you guys to personally look it up and tell me in the comments what you guys think. This was a super long video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. It's 8:52 a.m. that I'm doing this video, so appreciate the like, the comment, and the subscribe. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you let me know in the comments, because I do enjoy making these type of this type of content. If you guys enjoy watching it. Otherwise, it's been X. If you want to buy carries, coaching, or much more, hit me up on my personal Discord down below. We're still kind of on sale for certain things, but I pretty much sell everything. So if you're looking for something in PvP, I sell it. So hit me up, let's get it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace, peace.